I don't think it's a coincidence that the same week that the Midas Touch Network toppled Joe Rogan and woke up mainstream media that suddenly discovered what the Midas Touch Network was, is the same week that mainstream media decided to fight back against the Trump administration. CBS News deciding to go after him and not pay him $20 billion to settle a case, but instead attack him and go after his financial information, personal financial information. And now, finally, the Associated Press has woken up and decided maybe they should defend the First Amendment. Maybe they should defend freedom of the press. Maybe they should recognize that their property rights are being taken away in violation of the Fifth Amendment without due process, all because they refuse in their news reporting to call the thing the Gulf of America. And they just got around to filing an emergency motion with the judge in the federal court in D.C. I think a little late. I think they still win it. They should still win it. But certainly we woke the bear out of its slumber. Welcome to the First Amendment party, mainstream media. We've been there for quite some time. I'm Michael Popok. You're on the Independent Legal AF channel. And of course, we're collaborating with the Midas Touch Network. Let's get to it. Associated Press gets punished, retaliated against by the Trump administration, and by Susie Weil, the chief of staff, and by Carolyn Levitt, the world's youngest press secretary, whatever that title is. And they're told, well, you can continue to go, and we won't ever call on you, but you can continue to go to the press statements that I'm giving, the news conferences. But you can't go into the Oval Office and ask questions of the president, and you can't go on Air Force One. That's where all the juice is. That's where all the good stuff happens. That's where you want to be. Donald Trump's like an incontinent puppy who craps all over the place. You got to be ready wherever the droppings may land. When he's tired in the Oval Office with Elon Musk answering questions for him, or he's tired on Air Force One because it's already noon and it's past his bedtime. You want to be there to do your own reporting. And it's right there in the title, Associated Press. It's not just one entity. They represent thousands of news organizations, billions of readers. And they waited a week after the credentials to go into the Oval Office and Air Force One were denied to argue they have an irreparable harm that has to be justified. I'll talk about that in a minute. You're here. You're already here on the Midas Touch Network and Legal AF. I'm Michael Popok. Hit that subscribe button. We didn't leave you. We didn't abandon you. We're right here. We're defending the press. We're defending the First Amendment. We're defending mainstream media. Now, I thought it was ridiculous when I saw like Axios issue a press statement where they were kind of looking at their shoes because they were embarrassed. We're going to call it the Gulf of America because we have mainly a domestic audience and we don't want to lose our credentials. So we're going to do that. But we understand why other international news organizations may not want to. Yeah, because it's wrong, because it's silly, because it's insane. Is that what we're up to now, where the dictator comes up to the front steps and declares that Tuesday is Sunday and we should wear our underwear on the outside of our clothing? Is that what we're up to now? And now freedom fries French fries are no longer French fries, they're freedom fries? So here's the filing. This is the news breaking part. Filing today, emergency application to a DC federal judge to get a temporary restraining order, TRO first, to stop the Trump administration from banning Associated Press from going into the Oval Office in the Air Force One to report on the news. Here's how the lawyers have framed it. Here's how the lawyers have framed it in their filing. The press and all the people of the United States have the right to choose their own words and not be retaliated against by the government. The Constitution does not allow the government to control speech, allowing such government control and retaliation to stand as a threat to every American freedom. I couldn't put it better myself. Welcome to the party. Welcome to the First Amendment Protection Party. Now, this is different, but similar to the CNN issue from 2018, when Jim Acosta was banned on behalf of CNN, and all of CNN was banned. They couldn't even go to the press conference, the weekly press conference. Here, they're allowed to go to the press conference. They'll just never get called on. But they can't go to where the juicy stuff is. That'll be their argument. Well, we're letting them into some. They can join with the pool with the rest. But AP is the pool. It is the foundational aspect of our media. We get pull reports from AP sometimes when we can't get it from anywhere else. Them, Reuters, and others that have those credentials. Midas Touch, let's be frank, and Legal AF is not in the room during the press secretary's questioning, or in the Oval Office or Air Force One. They won't let us in. So we got to get it from other places like Associated Press. I'm just questioning why they waited a week to make the filing, because they have to prove irreparable harm. And the longer you wait, the harder it is to prove you've been irreparably harmed, meaning you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You're cutting off access and readership for billions of our people. When you waited a week, you got to get in there like in the first 48 hours, to be honest. But I think the nature of the injury is such that it doesn't matter whether it was a week or 2 weeks, 10 days or so. The judge is still going to find irreparable harm and has got to get the credentials back and force the Trump administration to let Associated Press into those rooms and make that report. I just think the wake-up call for the media, frankly, is the fact that our sister network, our brother network, Midas Touch and Legal AF, is taking it to them. I know there's a whole big jokey thing with Joe Rogan's group, like, who? Who's Midas Touch? Like all the bros. We got bros. They called the founders of Midas Touch recently 3 bros from Long Island who are hitters. 56 million people say that. That's how many people that you're watching. Listen, I'm just one guy on the Midas Touch network and on Legal AF. I get 50 million views a month of my work. That's because of you. That's a compliment to you, the dedication, the commitment of our audience like no other. Loyal to a fault, here for it, for the analysis and commentary like no other on the YouTube dial and in our podcasts. We appreciate you. We're going to defend the First Amendment. We're going to defend the Fifth Amendment and due process rights of the media because we're part of it. They're our cousins, at least. But I wanted to continue to report on it right now. I'll wait to see who the judges assign. We'll have the hearing, I'm sure. It could be over the weekend, at least early in the beginning of the week. Come right back here on Legal AF for the follow-up. We do follow-up like nobody else. We drill down. We don't let it go. We're like a dog with a bone. And I know I got a dog with a bone in the room right behind me. And until my next report, this is Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.